Yeah.
So me and Komal can see the cover right in front of us. You can see it on the screen.
Yeah.
This is the cover of the book, and I almost spent the equal amount of money and time
Yeah.
designing the cover or getting the cover designed by a professional graphic designer than I did almost on like the whole publishing part. Cover is very important, and what you can see over here is a young, skinny kind of boy looking at his ambitions of being a rocket scientist. But he is amongst the nuclear program scenario. The two chimneys that you see are the chimneys of a nuclear power plant. And what he sees is a vision. I want to do that for a living. And that's the guy. The character is a very unique character. The guy, as you can see over there, the quote is, if it is possible, I'll make it happen. If it is not possible, or if it is impossible, I'll make it possible, right? You have heard this quote before as well. This is a very important quote of the book. This is the major message. I don't want to give you an idea that this is a motivational or 100% inspirational book. It is a story. It is an experience. You are going to live the life that I lived. That's for sure. You're going to understand what life I lived when I was in the nuclear program of the country and I was working to get into the space program. And that is not an ordinary life. And this story needs to be told. And you are going to understand how much dark times, like you're going to feel that darkness, right? You're going to feel what happens. And you'll see what happens when you do that. Like how everybody, including those who don't even like physically exist, even like things which are not living matter or living beings, even that goes against you, right? Everything goes against you, and you are kind of like cornered. Now what do you do then? Judges who you are. And that's what this book is about. And although again you might think that it's like a motivational book, it's funny, it's hilarious at times, right? That's the character, right? That's the character. The character grew up as an introvert, and now he sees the world from that third person perspective, and he has always got a different perspective to this world. He sees what is going on, and he thinks about it like, let me apply a normal logic. Oh, this makes some sense to me, but mostly it doesn't. Like, why the hell are you doing that? And why don't you do it this way? And the opposite happens with everybody around him. He said, why the hell are you doing this? Right? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your life? You're crazy, right? And he says that I don't understand that, because with the simple logic, I think that this is what should be done, and I'm going to do this. I'll see it through. I'll see what happens. If you're right, you're right. But if you're not, then you have to accept it. And all those people who said that I was wrong, now you got to accept it, because this book is out, and you know what you did, and you know what you said, and you know what I did, right?
Yes, Ashish.
Because there's nobody who like said, oh, you can become an ISRO scientist with this scenario. There's nobody who even said that you can become a scientific officer at BARC. But I was able to do all of those despite so many people thinking that it is impossible, right? That's what the quote comes from. But the point is that the other quote that I love about that book is something that came in the final stages. Life is not fair, and so it is unfair to play it fairly. And that is Ashwin Taksh in Blood and Bone. Like, that guy does not play life fairly, because he understands very soon, like, I have every disadvantage a man can have. I mean, I'm an introvert. I cannot speak that well. I'm not the most chocolatey, good-looking boy according to the Indian standards. You understand, like, what is the chocolatey boy of the Indian society, right? A good-looking boy, everybody says that you're very cute growing up, right? He's not that kind of guy. He's skinny, so a lot of times people think that he's weak. And he grew up academically super poor. Like, whatever is my background academically is his background. Like, this is what is written. Like, he is the guy who scored 53 marks in mathematics in 12th standard. He is the guy who spent 18 years not studying at all. But he's also the guy who wants to become an ISRO scientist. Now, he knows that I have all the cards against me. The life is not fair for me at all. So I'm not going to play it fairly. I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, this looks and sounds very interesting. And I'm pretty sure the viewers would be curious as well about it, because I cannot wait for the day when it gets on the floor in the market, and everyone would be like, I know, would be in awe of you, because I know how much, like, you have put literally every fiber of your body in it.
Right.
You have
And
worked
I could
day
have
and
easily
night,
like churned
round the
money.
clock.
I could have churned money like 3 years ago. Just publish
Yes.
it. Like, oh, everybody knows that I used to be a scientist at ISRO. Everybody knows that I'm a scientific officer at, I used to be a scientific officer at Department of Atomic Energy. Use those tags and just publish that book and just
Yes.
get quick money. But no, I want it to be a story that people remember. I want it to be the experience like Inglorious Bastard. I want it to be an experience like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, an experience like Chernobyl TV series by HBO, an experience like Band of Brothers, an experience like Peaky Blinders. I want it to be an experience. I want it to be a story, a life that you almost like you live that life, right?
Yeah, I do not have anything apart from saying that I'm super proud of you. I've seen you growing as a person as well through this book. And now I cannot wait for the audience to explore this book and get different perspectives according to their own vision. But I think now it's your turn to say your parting words before
Well,
you
my
say
parting
goodbye.
words are not to my audience.
Yeah.
I have said everything I wanted to say
Yeah.
about the book, and you guys know what I've done, and you guys know my message, and especially people who have been following my content for a long time, let us say like 2018 days. You guys made me, and I've lived every day to live up to that expectations. That's pretty much about it, what I want to say. But I also want to say something to you, because this book, what you might not know, is actually dedicated to Komal Taya. That's the first page, and I would not have written this book if she did not encourage me every time. Like, what kind of engineer thinks that I can become a writer, right? Until unless he has people around him reading his content saying, oh, this is actually a good book, this is actually something worth writing. And there's no doubt that I would not have completed this book if you did not go through like the first chapter of the first draft of me plot. Like, you know me, I suck at writing, right? I even make spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes, thanks to Grammarly and hundreds of other apps which does the spell check for me.
And me.
Of course, Komal Taya, like, I don't know a lot of words. I'm not a literary educated, like I'm not educated in a way like I'm an English major or something. Like, I spent some time, right? But I think that's important, right? Because if the only stories are written by the English majors, then we don't have all the stories of this world, right? And like I grew up sitting in the last class of the book. Of the class, last bench of the class, not paying attention in class, and because of that, I don't have correct grammar. Don't worry, the book that you're finally going to read, that's all well edited and corrected and all that. And I transformed to become that. Obviously, I learned writing. Now I know where to place comma, and like I said, that's what took 5 years. But hopefully, those are the people who write the literature of this world.